Good morning and welcome to the 32nd National Children's Science Congress Teachers Training Program. Organized by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, this session focuses on research methodology. Together, let us nurture scientific temper, innovation, and sustainability. In this session, we will understand key concepts of research methodology, apply them in guiding student projects, develop practical mentoring strategies, identify common challenges, and promote inquiry, creativity, and innovation among young scientists. Problem identification. A good project begins with a problem observed in the student's own locality. For example, a hand pump drying up every summer, reduced crop yields, or fewer butterflies in the school garden. Each observation can be transformed into a meaningful research problem. The research problem could read that which farming practices are affecting soil health in our village? Or why has butterfly diversity declined in our school campus? Selection of the problem. The chosen problem should be local, relevant, practical, and researchable. Instead of broad questions like how can we save biodiversity, focus on specific ones such as does planting native flowering species increase butterfly diversity in the school garden? So instead of can we reduce plastic, you can ask which locations in our district generate the maximum single-use plastic. Formulating the research question. Convert the problem into a clear research question. The question should be specific and measurable. Literature survey. Gather information from books, scientific journals, government reports, experts, and reliable websites. Understand what has already been studied. Students should understand what is already known before collecting data. For example, a project on urban flooding, the students should study IMD rainfall records, municipal drainage maps, newspaper reports of flood-prone areas, and only then begin with the field investigations. Objectives. Define 2 to 4 clear objectives and they should guide the entire investigation. Suppose the project is on mosquito breeding. So the objectives could be identify major mosquito breeding sites, measure water stagnation periods, compare breeding before and after community awareness. Each objective leads to measurable work. Hypothesis. Make a scientific prediction based on existing knowledge and explain that a hypothesis can be accepted or rejected based on the evidence. Research methodology. Explain that methodology depends on the nature of the project and may include field surveys, interviews, questionnaires, experiments, sample collection, observation, measurements, and data from government departments or scientific agencies. Field visit. For example, if the project is about plastic waste in the local lake, students must visit the lake every Sunday morning for 6 weeks and they can observe the number of plastic bottles, food wrappers, plastic bags, waste accumulation after the weekends. So instead of saying there's a lot of plastic, they record the actual numbers. Survey. A survey should answer a research question. For example, if the project is about food waste in households, students can survey 100 families and questions may include how much cooked food is discarded daily, why is food wasted, is leftover food reused, is composting practiced, and after analyzing responses, they identify the major causes of food waste. Interview. Experts can help us validate the findings. For example, if the project is about decline in honeybee population, students should interview the local beekeepers, agricultural officers, horticulturists, and the questions could be have bee numbers reduced? Why? Which pesticides affect the pollinators? And students can compare expert opinions with field observations. Sampling. It makes the data collection manageable. For example, if the project is about water quality of a village river, instead of testing the whole river, students collect samples from the upstream, near the residential area, near agricultural fields, and downstream. And they can compare pH, turbidity, and dissolved oxygen. This can help us identify the pollution sources. Experiment. Experiment should answer practical questions. For example, if the project is about natural methods of seed germination, students should compare the untreated seeds, the seeds soaked in cow dung slurry, seeds soaked in vermi wash, and they can measure germination percentage, root length, shoot length, and the best treatment is identified scientifically. Measurement. Every possible reading should be measured. Example, water level in centimeter, temperature in degrees Celsius, soil moisture in percentage, bird species count, number of pollinators visiting flowers, quantity of kitchen waste in kilogram per day, and numbers usually make the conclusions very strong. Documentation. Students must maintain a field diary, photographs, weather records, observation sheets, etc. Data collection. Collect accurate and unbiased data and record your observations carefully. Take photographs and maintain a field diary. Data analysis. Organize data using tables, graphs, charts, and percentages. Compare the findings with previous studies wherever possible and help the students identify patterns and relationships. Interpretation. Discuss what the results actually mean. Encourage students to think scientifically rather than simply describing observations. Suppose students find that butterfly numbers doubled after planting native flowering plants. So instead of reporting butterflies increase, your interpretation could be native flowering plants provided nectar throughout the year, increasing food availability and attracting more butterfly species, which links evidence with scientific reasoning. Conclusion should be directly answer the research question. It should be supported by the collected evidence. So research question like, does waste segregation reduce landfill waste in school? The conclusion could be segregating biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste reduced mixed waste sent to municipal bins by 45%, demonstrating that source segregation is an effective waste management strategy in schools. Recommendations suggest practical, low cost, sustainable solutions, encourage community participation whenever possible. For example, if the project is about butterfly, plant more native flowering species, avoid pesticide spraying in gardens, create butterfly patches, and conduct awareness programs. Innovation does not always mean inventing something new. It can be an improvement to an existing practice using scientific thinking. Presentation is the most important part wherein students will present their work. It's a narrative of your research work for the topic. So ensure that students confidently present their work. Work plan. So a clear work plan with milestones, roles, and regular reviews ensures timely completion and effective preparation. Maintain a logbook for all the activities. Capture evidences at each stage, even if the task is a failure, and try to finish your work well in time so that you have enough time for preparation of presentation, which may also include finding answers for probable questions. As mentors, our role is to guide children in asking meaningful questions, collecting authentic evidence, analyzing data, and arriving at their own conclusions. The real success of NCSE lies in nurturing young researchers who observe, question, investigate, and innovate for the benefit of society. We are now open for question and discussion. Thank you. Together, let us nurture scientific temper, innovation, and sustainability.